All right, it looks like we're live. Ink. It's Twitch not working. Okay, no, it's fine. Hey everybody, welcome to Zotian Epoch, episode 41. We're pretty late today, about an hour late due to technical issues, but we are resolved and we're back on track. And the cats are meowing because I'm talking now at the computer. So yeah, welcome on in. Let's get into it immediately. So, last session was well, let me think. Where did we start last session? Actually, I can't remember. I know how it ended, but I don't remember the beginning.
We
Just a second.
started in
You were
the basement of the theater.
okay. You were okay. Cool. I can't remember if that was 2 sessions or one. Um. All right. So last session, the party exited the dungeon below the theater in the town of Northton. It is a theater town where people from all sorts of arts, but primarily the performing arts, come around in caravans and fill up the town, especially during particular seasons of the year. And there's only a few buildings, but one of them is an ancient ruin that's been converted into a theater. The party went through the whole rigmarole, and suffice to say, they exited after a pair of seemingly very long-lived gorillas had ran through the town and caused a ruckus. In tow was a deer with the face of a pit bull. We'll get into that character later, but essentially, he's someone who is cursed and left down in that basement for a very long time. The party learned that his name is Lugal, um, and after exiting the theater, the town was a mess with people running around, screaming, fleeing, packing up as these guerrillas caused havoc within the town. They seemed to have an affinity for alcohol and raided the town's tavern. And before the party could stop them, one of them ran off, the other into another direction. After this whole commotion, the party made it back to the port of Talorn and went to Avlet, who sent them on this mission. They brought back the golden spider that they were tasked with finding and began discussing details of how they would like their working relationship to continue and what their general goals are. So the party has settled on essentially fortifying and building up more of an organization where they live and hopefully outside the city soon. With their vast wealth that they're having fenced through Avled, who's the leader of the starving. That they're a group that mainly deals in supporting children, orphaned children, but they also deal in smuggling and all those other nefarious things that are not necessarily violent, but not necessarily legal, depending on where you're headed to. Where we last left off, the party was discussing with one of Avled's men who came to Jardine's house that they've been staying in, and they started discussing the possibility of buying a building within the city so that they can have more of an actual home base and get out of Jardine's hair, or scales, as it were, as he is a kobold, and just some various discussions on what they would like to do going forward in the recent time. Um, Players, if you have anything you would like to add, please do so. Otherwise, we're all sitting in the kitchen of Jardine's home early morning after delivering the spider to Avled. Party members, do you have anything to add from last session?
No, that sounds about right for where we are.
Yep.
Right on. Okay. You recently let in an orc man wearing more plain clothes, not the traditional garb that the starving normally wears, at least around their compound. He just looks like he's in plain clothes, but he's been sitting at the table with you, discussing the options for housing around the city. As he sips his tea, he looks at you both. Well, I've picked out some places you might want to see today. Avlad said you're looking for something low key, not too expensive, but need at least room for your carriage and your camel. Any other animals you might pick up. So I've got a selection of a handful that we can go around the city today and check out.
All right.
Alrighty.
He looks over to Crasted. We might not want to bring him, though. He brings prying eyes, and I am trying to stay low key, as he indicates to his rather plain looking clothes.
Uh, uh, do you mind staying here, bud?
Dad, no problem. Jardine's got some stuff to read.
Alright, there we go. He stays here.
I also suggest, if you don't mind, not wearing all the plate armor and vast array of weapons you have, but if you do need to wear, I understand. But we are trying to stay low key, and as I understand it, you have some folks that are prying on your whereabouts at most times.
I
Well, they
can.
might not be prying, but I'm paranoid, so I always think they are. They always seem to be
It's
one step ahead, so you know.
it's good to assume that there are people looking for us, if not that we're being watched. I can leave my armor here, but uh, I'll need to bring my axe with me.
I understand. There are many armed people throughout the city, and hopefully we'll not run into any trouble, but I am prepared to fight by your side if needed.
Understood.
He takes a last swig of his tea. Well, with that said, is there anything else you'd like to know or need to discuss before we get up and start wandering the city?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much good.
He nods.
Not like I'm. Anyways,
What were you gonna say?
nothing. Nothing
Okay.
at all.
He gets up from the table, sets his tea down. Thank you for the refreshments. As I understand it, you mostly wanted to stick to the north of the city, so we'll go check out some places up there. And he begins
Alrighty.
stepping out of the building, and you're the fresh sun of the day is beating down on you. The sun is still pretty low. There's some mist in the air as you are by the water, and you begin walking down the street as stores begin opening up, windows begin opening up. People are walking around. Some folks are leading their kids around, perhaps to a school or something like that. And you take your time walking through the city, crossing the bridges. It takes you a good long while as he's bringing you farther and farther northeast in the city, closer to the ocean. I need to drop you a map.
I'm not gonna worry about the inventory stuff here, but I have unequipped my plate armor and shield, and those are Samira has left them back at their current staging point.
For sure. Sounds good. Thank you. Oh, why isn't this letting me copy paste? Oh, that's dumb. Is it working this way? Oh, it does. Okay, well, that's silly. Copy it twice. Okay, so the map you've seen of Talorn. You're walking through Blue Tower and up over to the east, and you end up in Duskford, which is this area that is the mouth of the city, where the large river begins flowing out into the sea. Ships of massive size come in and out of this port all the time. Those that want to go further up the river or start bleeding into the various waterways throughout the city. There's some boats going along, as you can see as you're walking along the river there. And he brings you to a home. Here's the location, and you can compare to the main map of like where the DUS in Duskford is. As for the specific location of this building, Duskford is one of the nicest areas of the town. It's got cobblestone streets. There are modern buildings throughout. The people walking around have a bit of a nicer attire to them. You can also see in some areas guards outside of certain buildings. It looks like there's definitely quite a bit of money flowing through this area. It's partially residential, partially organizational. Looks like there's houses of places of organizations that have been there for quite some time. Perhaps some rivals of Avaled's live here. You don't know too much about this town, but your escort, who has not revealed his name, and if you ask him, would refuse to give his name for his and your safety. He mentions that this area has some interesting characters, but if you're looking for something a bit more comfortable, a bit quieter, it's a good place to go. The house he leads you to has a small yard out front. It's made of, it's fenced in with stone and provides a small amount of space for a cart and a grazing animal. There's a tree out front, and the stone fence basically encapsulates that open space in the corner of the street. There's a gate leading in there. He walks you through it for a bit. You notice that the building itself is made of a fine stone on the lower half. It's a 2-story building in the shape of an L. He gestures at the building as you're walking up to it. Now, this place is pretty nice. It's not my kind of town, but if this is more your jam, this might be what you want. I know y'all have some money, but I know you're trying to stay low-key. However, if you are planning on building an organization, you may want to have a face within this town. And this is a good place to start that, in our opinion.
That makes good sense.
He nods, walks toward... Oh, sorry, you're going to say something?
Oh no, Leo's just agreeing.
Okay. He nods and starts walking towards the back of the open area, where there is a grazing area for the animals. You see a large wooden barn door. It opens up into what is a relatively small stable. It creaks open. The stench of stale hay fills the air. Dust flows out. You can keep stores of hay, perhaps your cart if it's small enough. But this is a pretty small area, but it at least keeps it dry, away from the rain and any other weather you might have. Within this L is a door that leads into the building. It's like a side door. You can enter in this way or at the front of the street. but he's taken you through this gated area. He opens it up and invites you in.
Let's go check out the inside.
Mm.
Leo, before walking in, is going to do a quick scan of the area for the abnormalities.
Okay. Within the yard you were in, or before you entered the building area at all? Or do you mean like once you're in that barn garage area?
All of the above.
Okay. We'll just do a general perception then. Go for a roll.
If you would like, I can roll multiple.
Sure, we'll do one for all three, starting from the outside.
23.
Nice.
$13.
Distracting front lawn. Ooh. It just gets worse. 6. Right. It's from the
Damn it.
outside. You're very keen while you're walking through the city, and you're paying attention to your surroundings, general safety stuff, not paying attention to where you're headed all that much. You're just letting the orc guide you. As you're looking around the city, you noticed some of the well-dressed folks are looking at you both. Not concern, not fear, just studying you. Eyes upon you. At least 3 or 4 pairs of eyes as you're walking through the city. Once you're in this nicer part of town, folks are taking note of your rather adventurous appearance. You don't look like you fit in. Nobody's mean mugging you. Nobody's saying you don't belong there. Nobody says you don't have money. But you're definitely noticeable.
Mm.
Once you're in the front lawn of the house, once you've entered the gate, the stonework sort of shuts out the sound of the city. It's very tall and sits above your shoulders. It blocks a lot of the noise. It looks like it's been built there quite a long time ago. Definitely some effort was put into it. It's almost serene in this front lawn. You're sort of distracted looking at the house. It actually looks like it's in really good condition. Maybe even recent staining or paint or something. It just looks fresh. You're just kind of distracted as you walk through. Once the barn door opened, the whiff or the overwhelming stench of this sort of stale, rotten hay is just kind of overwhelming your senses. The dust is getting in your eyes when the door opened. And as you're stepping in, your eyes are trying to adjust from the morning light into the dark. And so it just seems like a place where you'd put hay and maybe a cart. As you enter into the building, oh, I need my notes again. As you enter into the building, you're on a lower floor of a 2-story building. The house is furnished with some fine furniture with ample padding. There are wooden decorations on the walls. It's carved into the side of the building. A fine fireplace sits on one side. It seems like a large sitting area. Off to the side, there's a door directly after you walk in from the garage area. There's also stairs if you look towards the foyer of the house in the and leading up to the upstairs. Feel free to explore.
Leo will start checking out the ground floor, seeing what's what.
As you're stepping throughout the house, the ground creaks. It is a wooden floor, seemingly not particularly amazing or anything. It's just nice solid wood. There's a rug under some of the seating in the middle of the home in front of the fireplace. As you're walking through, to the right is a kitchen that's sort of separated Um, almost like a looking through way, like a lot of modern apartments have in real life. If that makes sense, where it's like the kitchen area sort of off from the living area, but still part of the same room. As you walk over there, you find that there's actual running water. How you're not sure your country bumpkin ass Leo doesn't really experience running water all that often. It's novel.
Mm. He is he is desperately trying to hold back the huh, this is new. Uh he's trying to hold out from being completely country bumpkin. He's like,
Yeah,
huh, it's neat.
I know what this is. Um, the orc notices you kind of playing with the faucet for a moment, just kind of smiles to himself, and looks the other way. The windows, they're closed up. If you go and start opening them, they open up into the street. They seem to be in good shape. There's actually not a lot of cobwebs.
How long has this house been up for sale, I guess might be the right term.
He he looks back. Not long, actually. About a month, something like that. I don't know all the details, but from what I understand, something happened here. It wasn't pretty. But through various loans and debts of Avlad's business dealings, we did end up with the ownership of the home. But, yeah, we haven't been here much since. It seems the prior owners met a violent demise.
So the original owners got murdered by something, someone.
One could surmise.
Was the perpetrator caught, or
Like I said, we obtained it through various ownership details, and someone owed someone this and all that. We don't know the full story. Nor do we know who did it or really much about this family.
Is there someone who might know?
I can ask around, but I wouldn't know right now. I can talk to Avlet about it if that is a concern for you picking up this house.
We'd appreciate knowing the history of it.
He nods. I'll try and dig further, but you might want to check around the house yourself, see if you can reveal some clues. I don't know otherwise.
I think Samira will sort of wander around, not too far, just sort of taking it in.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, the lower floor is a decent size. Um, you might like you. It's that there are no side rooms in the lower floor, other than the door that leads. There might be a closet or something next to the back door, and then that kitchen area plus a foyer. It's all kind of one big great room, and then a nice staircase that leads upstairs into a hallway. Um, but it's a comfortable living space, tall ceilings. There are large wooden beams that are supporting the second floor, and you can see them from below. Fallen logs, likely not even from this area. They don't look like swamp. The floor from the swamp.
I think uh, I think Samira is actually just kind of she's looking at the architecture. This is not a style of building she's used to.
Yeah,
Um, so she's just kind of wandering around, taking it in. So she's looking closely at things, but not looking for evidence of anything, just kind of trying to figure out how the place was put together
Okay.
as a matter of curiosity.
Yeah, as you're imagining, it likely took a lot of work. It's made of materials that you haven't really dealt with a whole lot, especially being of a nomadic background. It seems substantially sturdy, like the kind of building that seems egregious or unnecessary. Most buildings don't have walls this thick. Most buildings don't have this heavy of a construction. It seems um, excessive, wasteful, even. Would you like to roll perception?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
9.
yeah, all you're seeing is relatively fancy materials. When you're looking at the actual furnishings, the chairs sitting in the middle of the room have what looks like leather that's been wrapped around the bottom of one of the chairs, um, and has very plush filling in it, and these metal rivets that are holding that leather together to form almost this cartoonish, puffy look. It's it seems inviting. Um, it's definitely not the kind of chair that you would normally see in your daily life.
I will, I will press my hand down onto the seat.
As you do, there's dust on it, but more importantly, it presses in with like a that weird squeak that leather does. But when you lift up your hands, there's like a red dark mist on your hands that's just sort of like smeared
I
along the bottom of
I
your fingers.
Yeah, I think I have some kind of cloak with my general traveling clothes.
Okay.
Sort of try and dust my fingers off on my cloak.
Yeah, as you do, some of that residue sort of sticks to your fingers. If you sniff it, it will smell coppery.
Hmm. That is interesting. I will show this to Leo and our guide.
Okay. Do you say anything about it, or you're just like, look at my weird hands?
Is this usual?
Um, the guy looks at it. Uh, oh, I think that's blood.
That's what I thought too.
How old does it look?
At least a few weeks old. It's dried. There's just enough residue to where it like kind of smeared off onto Samira's hands when she pressed down on the chair. Sort of crusty, sort of tacky.
They didn't even clean in here?
Oh, I've personally never been here. I was just told that this was the address and how to get in. Don't worry, we do have
The
ownership. We do have the deed, if that's your concern.
well, that's less the concern. Hmm. Guess
I
we'll
think.
just have to end up doing a deep clean of this place if we actually get it.
Hmm.
Yeah, one.
Samira will step outside and use some water to just clean off her hand.
Okay.
Um, Leo's gonna. Mm, he's gonna use primeval awareness.
Alrighty.
Just to get a sense of the vibe around the area.
Mhm. As you're doing this, are you doing this in like a ritual sense?
Uh, no, not particularly.
Casting.
More just like, yeah,
I guess
just
I
more
guess I'm
like,
asking, are you trying to hide it from the orc or no?
nah, it's not
Okay.
important enough to hide.
All right. Yeah, as you do this, he kind of steps back, noticing that you're casting magic of some sort. Um, as you're doing this, you don't sense anything present. Certainly, you're reaching out farther beyond the walls of the building, but your focus is right here, and within the walls of the building, uh, you don't sense anything that this casting would bring up, except there is lingering undead. Almost like the stench of undead. It's not here anymore, but it was at one point.
Hmm. And if I expand for a mile out from myself, after sensing the undead within the area, expanding the scope after that. Just a
Okay,
mile.
trying to see if anything's like watching or is nearby, I assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Checking out the area around us within walking distance.
A bit like a dog on the trail, you do sense that the undead presence has left the building at some point in the past. You're not sure when. It seems fairly weak, but that trail does end at the water. Nearby, one of the rivers to your left uh, is showing that the trail drops off. They must have gotten on a boat.
Alrighty. Well, can't expect much beyond that, I guess.
As you're focusing back in on the home, you do notice that there is a concentration of, we'll call it undead energy, in the building you're in, but specifically, it does lead over to that other door by the back door.
He's gonna check and see if there's any traces of tracks or whatever around that area.
Okay. You walk back through the living room, over to your left, and basically close the back door, and then open this other door. It's not a closet, leads it downstairs into a basement. There's a sickly smell coming from the basement. It's musty, and there's definitely a concentration of that undead energy down there.
He clicks his tongue. Hey, Samira,
Mm-hmm.
can you check this out with me real quick?
Yep. Tamira will head over to where Leo is. What do you need?
Smell that?
What do I smell?
No,
Uh,
maybe it's just me then.
yeah, Samir, you can't detect the undead as Leo's currently in the middle of a spell cast.
Yeah.
But you do smell the dampness and the sort of reeking of perhaps rot coming from downstairs.
I
Okay.
can smell undead.
Undead.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could also see if there's a vibe for it down here.
I can. I will use divine sense. I get anything off of that?
Yeah, as you're casting this, the whiff of the we have a chat. Second. Sorry, Transcendent. Samira's quiet. I don't know if you can turn up your mic a little bit.
I can try.
I think I can turn you up from here too.
Yeah, you should be able to turn me up in Discord.
Yep, that should work. Okay. Samira, as you're at the top of the stairs, and once you've cast this, the stench of undead washes over you, and it's very strong. In addition, you're smelling it from the living room as well, from the furniture that you had recently wiped your hands on. It's sort of emanating throughout the entire house, but most definitely downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, within 60 feet, I should be able to get, if there's an undead presence here, I should be able to get the type of undead, and I think I can get numbers as well. I'm just reading the, yeah.
Yeah. So it is indeed undead. There's no creatures currently alive as you might consider an undead being alive. There's remnants of undead down here.
Okay. It's just the, sort of pinging on the sense of this place has been desecrated by the undead.
Essentially, yeah.
Got you. Uh, yeah, Samira will sort of say, I don't sense any lingering creatures, but certainly an undead presence was here.
Okay, well, if it's not here now, guess that's good news.
This place would definitely require some significant cleaning. Perhaps some magical cleaning in order to make it a comfortable place. Leo or Samira, do you wish to go downstairs?
Yeah. Especially sensing the undead energy. Samira will sort of step downstairs.
I will follow behind.
As you do, the dampness of the room becomes clear. It's been closed off for some time. There's nothing that you can tell is leaking down. It's hard to see, but since you both are able to see pretty well in the dark, you don't need a torch. As you're headed downstairs, and you get to the bottom, there's a fine mist, a fog of sorts, that almost seems like it is floating blood. The room is sort of reddish in tint. In the corner of the room, it's mostly an open stone basement. There's not too many things here. There's some random satchels and barrels and boxes. A shelf lined with various pots, clay pots. In the corner of the room, though, is, as you're walking over to it, it seems like gore of some sort, perhaps pieces of bodies. Would you like to investigate further?
Yes.
Please roll investigation.
Gladly. Does Leo want to like assist on this?
Sure, I'll happily assist.
How about it?
Pretty sure your investigation is higher than mine.
Mine's a -1, so
Oh,
if,
mine's a
if
+2.
Oh shit.
maybe Samira should assist Leo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Leo will dig around and Samira will assist there.
Yeah.
Okay.
17.
Sorry, pizza.
No worries.
As you're over in the corner, and starting to rummage around between two barrels, seems to be the limbs of some person. It's unclear whether they're human or tiefling, but some sort of more basic bipedal person, or elf, or whatever. Looks like part of an arm. Their hand is just sort of curled around. Looks like they died in agony. You also see, as you're rummaging around, pieces of what is familiar to Leo as those strange plants that move around but have flesh on the inside. It seem to be around cult activities. There's pieces of these branches bleeding out. They look like wood on the outside. Samir, when you're looking at it, I don't know that you've encountered these before, but what you'd expect as like a branch of a tree or something, on the inside it's muscle, it's sinew, it's fleshy, and there's just
What does it sound
normal
like?
red blood pouring out of it. It
Is
looks like
there a oh, sorry.
there's what looks like piles of sheets and clothes and stuff, and these limbs are just sort of haphazardly sticking out of that pile. It looks like a bunch of soppy, wet, bloody stuff from inside the upper built part of the house has been stored here, just thrown in the corner. Leo, you had a question?
Is there a source or a main section, or is that not present? Or is that like
Like a whole
coming through
body?
the wall? Yeah. Like if this is similar to a plant, I understand that it's not similar to a plant, but if it's anything similar to a plant, there should be like a body or something similar of the sort
Mm-hmm.
within the area,
Mm-hmm.
unless that's gone.
Yeah,
And these are just the remnant traces.
oddly enough, as you begin like peeling off the gross, crusty blankets and what looks like clothes and things, it looks like you find some other body parts. An ear, a kneecap that looks like it was brutally torn from a person. Some other parts strewn about, but no torsos, no legs, no full arms, and certainly none of those bush-like creatures that you've experienced before when fighting the cult. Just various limbs of them. It looks like remnants of a torture scene or a battle, and that there were things just piled up in this basement in order to hide it, or just get it out of immediate sight. From what you're gathering, someone may have gone through and tried to clean the house in a hurried and haphazard manner in order to make it look like no crime was committed upstairs.
Whoever did this was sloppy. Whoever did an investigation into this is even sloppier. There's no excuse for any of this. Like, what the hell?
The orc is still upstairs, by the way.
What do you think? Anything that points to a culprit?
Cult. Always the cult. This is all cult shenanigans. This is the remnants of a fight or something, or just a torturous sacrifice. I can't tell, but all of this is all cult.
They
He
tried
he holds
to.
up like he pulls up like one of the like branches thingies. This is one of the creatures that serves them, I guess, or they own them, control them, whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Samira, as you're looking at the thing that Leo is holding, it looks, again, like I said, like a branch, but it's sort of like, as he picks it up, it sort of bends over like it's fleshy. Sort of like a limp limb, fluids just sort of leaking out from it. It somehow has retained and not dried up in the past month or so that this has all been sitting here. It almost looks like something you could peel and barbecue or put over a fire.
This is unsettling.
The leaves that are growing out from various points on it are on the twigs and they're sort of shriveling up, turning brown. But if you touch them, they crisp just like a normal leaf on any bush or tree.
You've seen this before, have you, Leo?
Yeah, I tore apart one of these things to check them out before I knew that they were cultist stuff. Whatever these things are, eh, they're not beasts, they're not plants, they're something else entirely. They just look like what you would expect if a parasite made of muscle infected a plant. Best way I can describe them.
Hmm.
You take off this thin layer of bark and you got muscle fiber, meat, and stuff like that. And at their core, there's nothing. They're just uh, their whole body is just a it's just a big old muscle covered in plants. There's no heart, there's no organs, there's no nothing. It's just meat and plant like material.
Hmm.
I couldn't even tell if they were something unusual like a monstrosity or anything else. They were just meat inside of plant material, and that was all I could find out at the time.
Are the
And
remains like this dangerous?
not if you burn them. If we turn all of this to ash, then like none of that's a problem, in my opinion.
To your experience, they have never reanimated after being properly killed.
Leo explains that.
I think that we should take this place.
Any particular reason?
Well, for one, who better to handle a place the cult has used before than us? But it's twofold. For one, something of a symbolic victory to take over a place that they abandoned. It's
They they
purely
might not
symbolic.
have though. They might not have used this place or abandoned it at all. They might have just come in here, wrecked shop basically, tortured whoever originally lived here, killed them, then fucked off.
Certainly, but we may not know why whoever lived here was targeted. But if we're making a stand against the cult, to start out in a place where they've already attacked someone shows that we don't fear them.
Mm,
But
You're not wrong.
on a less symbolic note, cleaning out all of this mess and burning it would be a rather public affair, don't you think?
Public meaning what exactly?
It'll put eyes on us.
Their eyes are already on us, and if we take it
Not,
like
not their eyes. I'm talking about the people who live here. If we bring some light to what's happened here, it exposes the cult on some small level.
I mean, when you're all dressed up and gussied and all knightly, sure, people might actually listen to you around this area. They won't listen to me. I'm gutter
That's
trash at best to them. And even if I clean up, I look like a well dressed cripple. Which, I mean, that's what I am when I dress up. I am a well dressed cripple. Nothing more, nothing less.
there are people who, when they see an armored paladin, will listen to me, and there are those who would prefer to listen to you. We'll need both.
Uh, I see your point. I'd like to check out the other places, see if there was anything culty there or not.
Certainly, any place we have the opportunity to investigate, we should, but I do think that bringing people's attention to the activities of the cult in this city will it will scare people, but that may be to our benefit. Not
It might scare people into looking into stuff a little deeper.
at the
Maybe.
very least, people may be more cautious. That gives the cult less room to play on people's ignorance. It may also, when people know that the cult is killing people on their doorstep, drive those more inclined to action towards our cause.
You're not wrong. Makes sense.
We can play it carefully. It's good for people to know that there is a danger, but we don't have to let on all that we know about the cult yet. Both for our own safety and for the safety of the people around us. We may not want to play our whole hand,
Yeah.
but I think making a public show of whatever happened here is to our benefit.
There is one downside, though.
What's that?
Someone comes along and convinces the people around us that we were the ones involved in this.
Mm,
If we were
It's
the ones who killed whoever this is, as he gestures to the body parts that are not, um,
it's
plant
unlikely.
monster.
Well, you and I have no ties here, and that may draw the suspicion of some. We have or are beginning to have some connection to those who I think would have an interest in keeping our names clear.
Mm, maybe. I'm a naturally pessimistic, paranoid person, so maybe I'm just looking at the negatives before I look at anything positive.
It's not unreasonable to be cautious, but I think what we stand to gain outweighs the risk in this particular situation.
Hmm. All right. If you want to spread the word, I'm all for that. You'll probably be better at that than me. I'll talk to our realtor, tell him what's up, and see if we can
Mm.
get a handle on something with his assistance, maybe, or through Avled, maybe.
None of this needs to happen right this moment.
Of course not.
Like you said, we can look at some other places, but even if only to put whatever these remains are to some semblance of proper rest, we should clean this place out, burn what we can.
Mm. Is there anything of anything that it identifiable amongst uh any of this stuff that's down here
None of the
between the
limbs.
body parts and the I guess I will call it cargo that's down here?
Yeah. None of the limbs have any sort of tattoos or rings or anything on them. Um, it's hard to tell the age or even what race it's from or anything like that. Um, as you're looking through, you begin to rummage through the cargo in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as you begin opening up satchels and stuff, it looks like some of it is rotten food. Some of it looks to be like linens that have been packed up and stored for long-term use. Other seems to be vinegar and other kitchen materials, cooking things, that sort of thing. Nothing seems to be of like a nothing is a an indicator of who lived there. Like it's all just general storage stuff. There's no like boxes of pictures of anyone or paintings or whatever, you know.
And this is the basement, right? And there's nothing
Yeah,
else in this basement. Is there
yeah. It's just an open floor
any
plan basement that basically fills the space of the house underneath it. Not to the exact dimensions. It's pretty far open. It could be used for something in the future, but there is a significant amount of like blood and gore down here. It looks like perhaps torture happened down here.
and there's no gaps in the walls, no secret buttons, switches,
Uh,
uh, passages and whatnot
for
in this
that,
space.
I'll need investigation for that.
Okay, fingers crossed. Do you want to assist me again, Samira?
Yes, yep, I will assist.
Okay, 19.
Excellent. As you're rummaging around, knocking on various things on the walls, looking for gaps, looking for secret passages, pulling shelves away from the wall, and looking if anything clicks anything or does any sort of mechanism. You don't find anything. It seems like a pretty basic basement, and it does seem to be weather and watertight. The mist from down there is just from the dew and the temperature and the various bodily fluids that have been rotting in there for a while.
Okay. There's no what's the air passing through? It's all the air that's in here has just been trapped in here.
Yeah, the only air comes from the door that you opened up to come down here.
Alrighty. Well, I guess that's that for now. What was our realtor's name again?
He
I
requested
forgot his name.
that you do not know his name. He doesn't want to share it.
Alright, I'll just call him realtor.
Sure, he's a rather private individual.
Sure. Leo's gonna mosey his way on up the stairs since we're done in the basement now, I guess.
I think Samira will stay behind for a moment, and uh, she just has some like old prayers. It's not. She doesn't know. She doesn't even really know if what remains is of the victims, but she'll say a few little prayers of her people, just as a sort of best she can do under the circumstances.
Yeah, and you're just doing this without doing anything with the remains for the moment.
For the moment, she'll sort of gather them up, but just sort of pray over them for the moment.
Okay. Leo, as you go upstairs, while Samira does her blessings, you find the realtor just sitting on one of the couches, just thumbing through a notepad that he has. Oh,
Yo,
hello there. Hi.
realtor.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Um, well, first off, there's dead shit downstairs.
I thought I smelled something nasty. He closes his notebook and
Yeah.
stands up. I apologize for any
Uh,
messes.
it's fine. Whoever did any work in here, definitely was not looking at cleaning up properly. It's a entire mess. Also, it was cult involved, so whoever lived here, worked here, or whatever, um, previously at some point, within past while, I guess. About how old was everything down there?
Oh, well, it went on market. Well, not on market, but the house lost its owners about a month ago. Aside from
And
that, I don't know much else.
out of curiosity, Humeka, how old was the stuff down there?
What do you mean? Like, as in the like
Like,
satchels and storage?
no, like the body parts
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff. Like, how long has that
No,
stuff been rotting down there?
no more than 2 months.
No more than 2 months. Huh.
It about lines up to when the building was put up for sale.
All right.
Like shit happened, procedures happened, then the deed was passed through various hands that ended up in Avled's lap.
Hmm. Well,
The realtor scratches his head. I apologize for any traumatic sights here. We normally do go through things, but our business is not real estate. We just sometimes end up with property. I do apologize. I haven't
it's
been to
fine.
this I haven't been to this site myself until this morning.
I figured that was the case, anyways. Not like it's that big of a deal. Just, hey, look at this dead body.
In our life,
Yeah,
that seems to be more common than not, unfortunately.
yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, anyways, whatever. Let's we'll check out the other two properties, but
Oh,
we'll
there's four more,
probably
but yeah.
oh, my bad. I wasn't expecting four. I thought there was three. No, sorry. I thought there was three properties, not five. Anyways,
No, it's okay. I may have said a few and
uh,
just meant that casually.
all right. Anyways, we'll take our chances looking at the other properties, but Samira's leaning towards this one a little bit. She wants to use the property to make an example out of the cult, scare people into being a little wary or cautious,
He
and
raises
also
his
put
eyebrows, and just kind of nods as you're saying this, pulling out his notebook, licks his pen, and starts scribbling something down. Sorry, go ahead.
anyways, uh when they're done down there, we can head to the next property, I guess.
I've noticed you haven't checked upstairs. Would you like to go up there first before heading out and making a decision at some time today or tomorrow? I don't know how fast you want to buy, but you're welcome to
Sure,
head
I'll go
upstairs
check
too if
out
you'd like.
upstairs. Sure, I'll go check out upstairs. Gotta clean off some of the muck I got on me too, real quick.
I'm guessing you step over to the
Yeah.
kitchen sink that actually has running water.
Yeah, he'll run some water, clean himself off a little bit, then go check out upstairs.
Okay. The water is slightly salty, from what you can tell uh, when you're cleaning up. You just kind of notice it passively. It's not
Mm,
like straight up ocean water, but it has the saltiness to it. Um, as you walk around to the front, like you exit the kitchen, turn left, and then immediately right into the foyer. There's a nice staircase with some ornamental wood that's been carved into the handrail that leads up. The wall above you uh, extends all the way up to the ceiling of the building. This building has pretty tall ceilings, and now you're seeing it twice as high. And as you're walking up the stairs, it leads you into a landing area with a hallway that runs down the left side of the wall, the outer wall that you're standing at. There's a row of rooms, about 5 of them. The hallway ends with one of the rooms facing, like the door is facing you. When light is creeping through the dust and in the cracks in the windows with the shutters closed into this hallway. I'm guessing you go up and open a door.
yeah, he'll check out what's up there.
Okay. You go through and you open up the first room immediately to your right as you exit the staircase. It opens up into a relatively small room. There's a small bed for a toddler in one of the corners of the room. Various toys, some sewn dolls of some sort, some wooden ones, all together. It's like a child's room. You go and check out the next room right next to it, open up that door. It's similar. There's a bunk, however. Looks like toys that you'd expect a somewhat larger child to have. Some of them are matching colors of one, another color, but the same item. Maybe twins lived here? Third room, you open it up. Right next to that one seems to be some sort of office. There's a desk on one side facing out the window. various scrolls kind of littered in one corner. A chair sat at that desk, a melted candle sitting on a little candle stand. In the corner of the room is a nice plush chair. It rocks, a lot like the ones downstairs. There's some shelves and tables throughout the room. It's been somewhat ransacked, but there's less reading material than you'd expect for this kind of office to have.
When
Perhaps
you say
something
it's
was
been ransacked,
meaning someone has come through, taken things, and thrown things to the ground, but not to the extent that it's completely destroyed.
okay. They were looking for something. Out of the body parts that were downstairs, about how many of them would make different sections of bodies?
At most, it was like 3 people. From
Leo
what you could
checks out the other room.
from what you could tell downstairs, it was at most from 3 unique individuals. Though, as you're walking through this house, it seems like perhaps more people lived here.
Mm-hmm.
The next room over, it's a drinking room of some sort. There's a small bar that actually has a space for a bartender to stand behind. There are stools in front of it, various pots of alcohol. If you go and open one of them up, it's fresh ale. You could drink it right now if you wanted. Lining the
No.
walls, lining the walls are various taxidermy animals, creatures, fish, even a crocodile head. There's a table in the middle, some various dice and cards laying around. Looks like some sort of little club room. This is the
Hmm.
largest of the rooms that you've been in as you've been walking through.
Next room, if there's more.
There is. This is the last one on the end of the hallway that makes up the remainder of the house. As you open it up, it immediately goes to your left. It seems like it goes over the garage that you entered the house in. It's a large, expansive room with a vaulted ceiling, a large central bed in the middle. It looks like adults lived here, perhaps a couple. There is a wardrobe on one side. A nice window opens up over the stone fenced area in the front yard. This room has the most windows of any in the house, and a nice skylight as well.
Is the skylight open or busted at all?
It is open. There is no glass because of the world you live in. But the skylight is open, and there is weather coming in. The carpet below it has been stained.
Leo looks over everything that's in here. I am getting rid of that skylight first chance I get if we get this place. Sealing
You
that off,
you
closing
don't
that up.
like it? You don't like assassin entrances? That's so weird.
Paranoid. Of course he wouldn't like this crap. If anything, these people are lucky that Leo doesn't seal up the entirety of this house and brick it with stone. Block
Yeah.
off like 90% of these stupid ass windows for these stupid ass rich people.
Hey, they lived in a nice neighborhood. Nothing's gonna go bad.
Yeah, huh? He's gonna check out the wardrobe next. See what's what in here.
Okay. You go over to the wardrobe. It's expansive. It's a large wooden standing cabinet on its own. It towers over you. As you open it up, this mechanism almost like lets down racks that have clothes and jackets and fine clothing sitting on it, like that. Or I didn't describe that very well. The rack like folds out as you're opening the doors, and they sort of hang from the doors, and it's like a row cascading down towards you, with fine outerwear sitting on there. There's a bunch of clothing all throughout this. A lot of it looks really expensive. There's some for men, there's some for women. There's various materials that you haven't interacted with before. Some very silky, some very fluffy. Nothing very rough.
Any bejeweled accessories that are still remaining?
You rummage through some of the drawers on the bottom half of it. You open it up, and you do find some that has jewels in it. There's one that it seems like a his and hers type of situation, where one side has rings and cane toppers, even some things that go over teeth, and various monocles and stuff made of the obsidian glass that you have seen some people wear at various random times in your life. On the right, it is women's accoutrements with earrings, necklaces, rings, all the good stuff. A lot of it gold, a lot of it turquoise, a lot of it various gems that you've encountered on occasion. It all looks like rather nice stuff.
Leo bags all of it.
Make a note of that. You don't own the house yet, fool.
So?
I know. I know you're a criminal. It's all good. I'm just playing.
Loot. Do. Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous jewelry.
Yeah, I'll set you up with an item later. I wrote my own note as well.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll just clear out that off there. Then never mind.
Or if you make a note, I'll just edit what you've made.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. Do.
Samira, are you still hanging out downstairs?
Samira can show up whenever.
Okay. Then I will assume that you have seen all the things that Leo has seen as you've kind of poked your head into the various rooms.
Sure.
You walk into the master room with after Leo has stashed all the goods, and he's just kind of looking into this fancy wardrobe.
Sure thing.
You are not aware of his thievery.
Not that it would matter.
Leo, after
These people are dead. He doesn't care.
No, I know. I'm not making judgments. I'm just stating who knows what. Leo, as you finish packing up your stuff, Samira makes her way into that room.
I'm assuming there's not a bath in this house, is there?
You haven't opened up one last door within the master room. It's to your right.
He opens it.
It is indeed a bathroom inside the building. There is a large stonework bathtub in the middle. And as you're looking around in here, none of the water is running here, as it is upstairs. However, you do find this small door that opens up in the side of one of the walls there, and it looks like a pulley system with a bucket. It looks like that bucket may go down to the kitchen.
Okay then. Guess I'll have to check that out later, maybe.
There is
Feeling it.
there is a chamber pot as well in here. It's in its own little room off to the side of the bathroom.
Well, I checked out everything up here. If I am estimating things right, and going off of the cults, we'll politely use the term MO. They came here, their owner, father, masculine parental figure, if you really want to call him that, had something they wanted. They ransacked his office. I don't know if there's anything much of note in there. I just glanced at it. And then they probably kidnapped all the kids. Or they killed at least everybody and probably left at least one of the children alive. Probably the youngest. They probably took him. It's honestly hard to tell with with all the body parts that were down there, but there were at least maybe 3 people, but I couldn't tell. It's also feasible that they just killed the children and took the mother and father with them. Or the father and mother joined the cult and sacrificed all 3 of their kids.
We don't know much, just that people died here,
Yep.
and the cult was after something.
Yep, pretty much. And it wasn't money.
No, I don't imagine they have much need to do this for money.
Not when they have the diamonds funding them. Or funding from the diamonds that they can skim off the top of.
Regardless, they don't seem to have any trouble with the finances. They don't
Yeah.
value money like some people do.
Yeah, like Leo.
I've given the remains downstairs what rights that I can. Until we can cremate them.
Yeah.
Show me this office. I'm sure the
Leo
cult
leads the
found
way.
whatever they were. As they walk, Samira will say, I'm sure the cult either found whatever they were looking for or it wasn't there to begin with, but maybe we can get some idea of who it was that lived here.
Yeah. I will mention this. This is mostly my sake, if nothing else. If we get this place, I am sealing up a lot of these windows. And he also gestures towards the skylight. I'm also sealing that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
No, the domestic conversations are happening. Yeah, as you enter into the office, Leo, you're just kind of you've both seen the room, but you just kind of explain what you've seen in here. Looks like a lot of the items have been taken from here. The shelves are rather empty. There's some leftover stuff that you might be able to rifle through.
Yeah, I think Samira will just begin to go through what scraps are left and just see what she can piece together of who these people might have been.
Go ahead and roll investigation, please.
Sure.
Ugh.
11.
Samira, as you're looking around, you do find you're sort of perusing one of the shelves. It's a freestanding bookshelf. There's rows of tablets near the bottom, stone tablets where people carve things. It's pretty common. Um, and some of them have been knocked off the shelving and are shattered on the floor, so you can't read them anymore. As you're going through those, it's less to read because they can't hold as much information as like a scroll can. So you're just kind of getting a cliff notes as you're going through there. They look to be records of locations. As you're pulling them out and just kind of perusing them. Some of them are describing what seems to be like digging sites. Maybe it's for a burial or a ritual or uncovering something.
Mm-hmm. I think as she sort of puts these things together and finds what she does find, she'll sort of say to Leo, "Have a look at this. What do you make of it?"
Leo takes a look at it. What are we looking at?
She hands you a tablet, and on it is basically the inscription says how to get to it, where it's located in relation to the port of Talorn, and a small description stating something along the lines of good site, dig long term, interesting finds, bring magical user. And
Uh,
as you look at some of these, they all kind of have these cryptic statements about the conditions of a place, where it is, and what some things might have, and the kind of staffing you might need to go visit the site.
are these what's the word? Survey. There are a type of survey. Archaeological survey? That might not be the right word.
That's you.
Geological survey?
Yeah, it's either archaeological or geological. It's something that someone is looking for that isn't among civilization. And it seems like some sort of digging site for perhaps a scientific endeavor. Not that you know many scientists, but you've known of these things, especially after traveling with Sebastian for quite some time.
Yeah. And I miss Sebastian. He would be the one to know about all this. Maybe. Most
Yep,
likely anyways.
yep.
Uh using his general knowledge and other things, can he determine where these areas are?
Yeah, yeah. They're all within like the instructions on the tablets describe how to get there from Talorn. All of them seem within a week's travel. They seem to be like a radius around the city itself, as this person is probably coming and going from this area and traveling out. Some of them are much farther away, probably via boat. In fact, some of them describe traveling via boat. Um, and each of these tablets has a record, like 1A, 2B, that sort of thing. And they have references that might be mentioned on other things. As it's like the tablet establishes the site because it's significant, and then they use other things to write detail about what they found.
Hmm. Interesting. These are all listing different sites for something. They're all. Are all of the sites within like 2 weeks via boat of Tolorn or walking of Tolorn?
Yep. Yep. None of them go down to like Bazi or across the continent or anything like that.
Huh. So all of these are within at least 2 weeks, whether by foot or by boat. They're all different sites for stuff. Can't tell what the sites are or what they have, but they're definitely. These are probably all dig sites for something. If this isn't what they're looking for, what would they have been looking for?
I would add that it's possible that this is exactly what they were looking for, as a significant amount of these objects are missing, or there's empty shelves, there's broken tablets, there's things around that have clearly been taken. So perhaps references and tablets have been taken for some purpose,
Hmm.
and the ones that you're looking at are just the leftovers.
Hmm. Okay, that seems to make some sense. Or maybe these are sites that they already checked out and said that they weren't thought that they weren't worth it. Does this ransacking look random or calculated?
Calculated. Looks like someone
So
had
somebody
time
took
in
their.
here. Yeah, it wasn't hurried.
Okay. So these are all the ones they didn't want, or ones that they were already used to or checked out already. So whatever is missing, wonder if there's a timeline between all of these. If we could sort out which ones are missing, we
None of
might
the
be able
tablets
to
have dates
fill
on
in.
them.
Uh, they if they don't have dates, are they uh organized, or do they seem to be marked in some way that would determine something? Not maybe not a time frame, but more of a organizational system.
Yeah, you could surmise that there is some sort of system, and they probably were built up chronologically. Because you have things like the A section, and it'll say like A2, A3, or others will say G5, things like that. So perhaps the letter means something and the number means something, a series, but none of it is necessarily. Like, you probably wouldn't start with the letter D. You'd probably start with the letter A. So by looking through those, you can see that there is some sort of order, and that likely was made in order.
Huh. Can you do a quick look through these, see like which of the A's are missing, if any of the B's, C's, D's, or whatever? Just do a quick organize and see like which ones might have more missing.
Sure. As you're going through that, you notice that some that are lower in the categories seem to be missing more. Perhaps this category is related to a particular type of site, because you're noticing that the A's are requesting a certain type of backup or staffing. The B's are requesting a sort of different thing, meaning the deeper into the alphabet you go, perhaps the stranger things are. There's less of them, more missing chunks, missing numbers in the series as you're going through.
And how high do the letters go?
To H.
And H has the most missing out of all of them, it seems.
Yes.
What's the max number for the sites? Like the highest number
At total of what
on
you're
average,
looking
I
at,
guess.
you're looking at a total of like 40 different tablets, maybe 60 total in the room that are not destroyed or taken.
Hmm. So about how many would be missing then? 40, 20, maybe more?
It looks like most have been taken. So you're looking at maybe a fifth of what used to be there.
Holy crap. How could
Just
they
based on
lug
like
all of this out of here?
the shelf space open and stuff like that. And the numbers you're looking at. Yeah, you could surmise you have about a fifth of the collection.
And these are all stone tablets?
Mm-hmm.
Leo is
Not all that,
flabbergasted.
not all that far to the canal. Could
But you
move.
would think somebody would have noticed that sort of thing, right?
If nobody noticed the murder, I think the tablets would be the easy part to get away with.
Yeah, you
I'm
could probably pack them
sure.
up in just a few crates. Like it could easily go onto a cart. This wouldn't take that long. The tablets aren't like, the Ten Commandments with the giant thing. It's more like you can hold it in your hand with both hands, and it's like, relatively compact. Maybe twice the size
Yeah,
of a cell phone.
okay, but still, that's like a pound or more per stone tablet.
Nah, that'd be like a quarter pound. It's like slate. It's not like
Really?
super thick, heavy stone.
Okay, okay.
We should see if there's whatever this operation was. It wasn't being done by just one person. This is an organized effort of some kind. We should see if we can find out who our victim here was working for or who worked for them. Maybe we can try and
Yeah,
find something about the nature of these sites.
maybe. Might be able to find something at the very least.
If it was important to the cult, it's worth investigating.
You're not wrong. They wanted something out of all of this. And they definitely got something out of everything here, for sure. More than likely, they probably got what they wanted and then left once they were done, silencing all that were left behind or might know knowledge of, and took whatever they wanted with them, including whoever else might have been involved. Well, I guess we're done here now.
Seems like we have what we can find here. We should see if Avlet has an interest in this.
Yeah. We can tell the realtor to relay the info to him. See if Advillid can do some digging into it.
That's not a bad idea. You're thinking we share our findings and do the rest of our little tour of vacant properties and see what
Yeah.
comes up?
Yeah, I definitely want to check out the other properties. Well, this one is definitely marked highest on the list. He said there are 5 properties. If all 5 of these properties were subject to cult raids, then that's something to note. Even if only one of those other places was subject of a cult raid, then that's already something. Once can be a coincidence, twice is suspicious. If it's 3 or more, then they're obviously targeting something within the area and they're not done, or they found it already and are just cleaning up the evidence.
Let's see what we find. It's too early to jump to any kind of conclusion.
Well, yeah. I mean, for all we know, none of these could have anything to do with whatever this was, and this is just a one-time, hey, look, we found a super fancy, nice house that happened to be involved with cultists.
If the cult is active in the area, it seems inevitable.
I mean, we've already confirmed that they're active in the area. That's why Avalid wanted that spider.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not an if they are active in the area, it is they are active in the area. They might just be, well, they are keeping things quiet right now. That's their MO, anyways. Sneak in quietly, destroy everything quietly, silently, clean up any mess that might be left over, and leave someone else to pick up the mud.
They don't want people to know they're operating here for whatever reason. It
Why
probably makes
wouldn't
their
they
work
want?
harder.
I mean, sure, but why wouldn't they want people to know? That makes no sense.
Can't be sure. But if they don't want people to know, then we want to spread the word.
Why are they so obsessive about hiding in the shadows so much? They obviously have the forces and the funding and the knowledge to take over this entire city without any losses at best. Avalid, even with that spider, wouldn't be a threat. At best, he would just be an inconvenience. Why are they so dead set on hiding?
We can assume one of two things. The first is that they are not as strong or widespread as we've been led to believe. They use concealment to hide the weak points in their organization and make themselves appear stronger than they are. The other possibility is that there is some force out there whatever it may be, that scares them.
Huh. Something is scaring them and making them stay quiet and hidden.
It's a possibility.
The group that saved me from them the first time, they weren't they were looking into them, but they hadn't found anything of note except that they were a cult. Even I didn't know that they were the cult of the old ones until after Sebastian had confirmed it. Or maybe they just didn't want to scare a kid who had just been through a traumatic experience and had his arm ripped off. Hmm. Wonder if that old dragon's doing okay. Anyways, we should get moving. We have other places to look at today.
Agreed.
I'm assuming you both head downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll head downstairs. I think we'll also um we'll fill our realtor in on at least some things.
Okay.
The things that we need relayed back to Avlet at least.
Yeah.
Are you requesting the investigation onto who owned this place a little more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
who owned this
who owned
place
this
and
place, their activities.
yeah, who they were working with or for.
Trying to find more about the organization because it's obviously not a solo endeavor.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, After you convey all this to the realtor, and he finishes taking notes in his little notebook, he nods and says, "All right, no problem. I'll pass this on to the boss. It's certainly an interesting place. I don't know that I'd want to live here, but hey, if it helps you, that's great."
We'll still look at the other places. If nothing else, it would be good to make a show of seeing them.
Sure. I'm sure Avlid would be pleased to know. He does like to be personable with his contacts. Not everything is business with him.
Unfortunately, from the look of it, we may have plenty of business to keep him busy as well.
Oh, he likes business. Not saying that.
Mm.
That's why
This
I get to live
business,
a comfortable life. He just kind of smiles, satisfied.
this business is not likely to be his favorite, but there are things that need doing.
It sounds like it. Well, shall we head to the next house?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Sounds
go
like there's
around
not a
and
pile of dead bodies in that one.
I do apologize for that. Hopefully there aren't any in the other places.
We can hope.
After he finishes up closing the house and you walk out through the front lawn, um, he closes up the stone gate and you begin walking eastward towards Alebank, which is the next neighborhood over, across the next river. Just a moment. Da, da, da. There you go. A little map for you. So I'll open it for the viewers. You make your way eastward to Alebank. This neighborhood is known for its taverns, breweries, and alcohol-based businesses and entertainment. As you're walking through, there's lots of taverns, lots of music, people walking around. Even though it's morning, the day drinkers have already begun. It's probably around 10 a.m. or so, maybe 9. You did spend a decent amount of time in that one building, but it's still fairly early. As you're walking around, you can smell the stench of ale being brewed and various experiments into alcohol. He walks you towards the eastern side of the neighborhood, down this small road in one of the main alleyways, and there's this sort of run down small warehouse. It's 2 stories tall. The shack that you walk up to has a small dock that juts out into the water. It's accessible from the inside. There's a door that leads directly to the dock. And from the street, it's a large barn door. He opens it up and it creaks open. The bottom floor that you walk into is compacted gravel. A series of old ale vats stand proudly in the corner of the first floor, kind of towards where the water is. One of them's cracked and crumbling down, but they're pretty sizable. Like, either one of you could, sit and seal up the jar with you in it. These are very large vats. Otherwise, that floor is pretty much empty. The wooden walls are mostly together, but there's some cracks in the walls a little bit here and there. Not rotted wood, but how the knots in wood, they sometimes fall out of the panels. It's like that. The door that leads out to the pier seems to be part of a larger door that can open up and receive the back of a boat to load things in and out. Above you is a second story with a staircase that leads, if you're facing in the main door, it leads to the left and up and around. And there seems to be an entire upper floor that you can't see into from the warehouse floor. There's no yard to this building, but there's absolutely enough room for an animal and a cart to sit in this lower warehouse area.
So it's a tavern? Or
No.
was a tavern?
No, it's a storehouse. So there's no tavern, there's no area for people to drink or anything. You're just literally opening up into a warehouse. Gravel floor, compacted down, nice small crushed rock. There is storage for a tavern, like the large ale vats. Those are kind of sitting in the corner of the warehouse, all lined up. It looks like this used to be part of maybe one of the neighboring taverns locations, and they want to sell off this building.
Okay, so this is mostly a storage space, if nothing else. This isn't a
Yeah.
full-on living space. Got it.
Well, there is an upstairs that you haven't explored yet, but yeah, in the main area you're looking at, it looks like something that's meant to receive and ship things from the water. A rather large boat could back up to it or pull up to the side and unload things into it. Or a small one, you can walk out onto the dock there, onto the pier, and tie up a small sailboat or canoe or something.
I guess we'll go check upstairs next then.
Yeah, as you climb up the wooden stairs, they creak as they strain against the wall of the building as you're walking on up. Once you get to the landing, there's a wooden door in front of you. As you open it up, you're greeted immediately with a small kitchen, very compact. There's a stove right in front of you, a water basin to your right, and a small dining table immediately once you walk in the building. as you're going in there, the entire floor plan is open. There's a fireplace on the other far end, all the way down the warehouse, where it like faces the water. There's a window on either side of the fireplace that can open up in to where like you could see the water right below it. The floor doesn't have any furniture in it. It's just kind of open, aside from that kitchen table that you immediately walk into. This is a very basic living space.
This one isn't bad.
And because it's jutted up between two other buildings, the windows are only on the water side and also facing the street. There are no others. So as far as situational awareness, this place does have a lot of like known quantities. There's no real major entrances into the building that you wouldn't be able to focus your attention on if that was a concern.
Definitely easily defendable.
Yeah, it's not terribly remarkable. If you do want to investigate further, you may.
Uh, sure, why not? Leo will dig around the house a bit, or around the space a bit.
Feel free to roll investigation. Um,
12.
you don't manage to find anything of note, but distinctly there's no stench of blood. It doesn't seem like a crime has been committed here. It seems just like an old warehouse that has a bit of a living space apartment upstairs. Very basic. You could add walls to this if you wanted. It's a pretty large room. Um, the kitchen area expands into the rest of the warehouse, and you're looking at maybe 40 to 50 feet in one direction. It's probably 30 feet wide, to give you an
So
idea.
it's more of a communal living space. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no leftover furniture or anything. It's been gutted out and empty, essentially.
Hmm. Well, I like this spot.
The realtor follows up the stairs and enters in. I know this place is pretty basic, but you did say you wanted to be north in the city, and this is still pretty close to the ocean as well. It does have some logistical advantages being by the water. It's the only one on our list that is by the water, if you care about that. But you could kind of make it your own. It's a bit of a blank space. Regretfully, there's no yard for the animals, but they could definitely stay downstairs. So have to make sure they're fed
Yeah,
often enough.
I certainly like it. It's a space to fill rather than an already filled space.
Yeah, and as far as I know, no violent crimes have been committed here. As he catches himself.
Leo just gives him the one side eye.
He doesn't notice. It's another day for him.
Mm.
It's a good little spot. I do worry about having no outdoor space for animals, but we could certainly make this place work for us.
Yeah, and it's probably one of our most affordable ones here. It's 1,800 gold pounds. Gold pieces, my apologies. The last one's about double that.
Leo's gonna lean over to Samira. You know, we can't get more than one spot, right? If we
We
really
could.
want to, we really wanted to, we could. If I managed to get to all of it, I just have to go through the berries. If we really wanted to, I could. We could fence everything that I have stashed away, or some of it, or more of it. Anyways, we could probably buy all 5 if we're really feeling ducky about it. I only have enough for. Well, I honestly don't have enough for any of these spaces. Damn it. Both my life, both in real life and in the game, I don't have 1,800 gold pieces.
Too real.
Uh,
Too many locations might be difficult to manage,
well, yeah,
but we can keep it
obviously.
in mind.
Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying it out loud, saying, hey, if we really wanted to, we could get more than one spot.
It's worth
I
thinking
wouldn't
about.
say all 5, I would say 3 max. If we're feeling ducky about it, you know?
Let's see some other places first, but we'll keep this one in mind.
Hmm. This one is definitely at the top of my list.
It's a
Hey,
good little spot.
it's invasive. The realtor's just kind of walking around, poking around the building. His voice kind of echoes back as he talks back to you. I know it's kind of open, but this is sort of a fill it however you want, and logistically it's pretty nice. But, you know, not much else to see here, and
Yeah, now we can mosey on to the next spot.
he nods. Alright. It's gonna be a bit of a walk, but we're gonna be heading further westward into the rougher parts of town, as it were.
Lead the way.
Yeah.
You all go down and exit the building. There's no actual door from the street into the house other than using the giant barn door. The only person-sized door is the one that faces the water. Something to note, maybe you'll want to have it changed later. Nope, I called that one wrong number. You make your way westward into the city, perhaps stopping for some food at this point, into the late morning at this point. As you're walking westward, still in the north of Talorn, you cross the main river and end up in the west slums. This is the area where you were first introduced, Leo, into the city of Talorn. One of the warehouses that lines the building was where you had your little smuggling adventure. Beyond
Hmm.
that, though, further and almost to the edge of the city, where there's almost no buildings left, he leads you to a longhouse that uh, it is very similar to Avled's building, and similar to things that you've experienced in Baklamel and other more primitive places. And there's a little mappy.
Uh.
Got these for viewers. Link. Mhm. A single-story building. As you're walking up to it, it's the longhouse is long side, like the width of it is facing the street. It's a single-story building, and as you step into it, it's a gravel pit with a recessed floor that you step down into. A central hearth warms and lights the entire building. Obviously, it's not lit right now, but you can imagine that it does. Bunks and seating line the walls of the building. And as you're walking in, your realtor just kind of sheepishly says, I know it's not the fanciest, it's a little out of date, at least for this town, but they're good buildings and they work well. And, it's open floor plan, but definitely a bit more old school if that's your thing. He leads you down into it. As you're walking along the gravel floor, uh, further to the left or far end of the building, is this closed off kitchen area with a pass through window. And as you're walking towards it, there's various chairs and tables that are sort of pushed to the side of the building. And some of them are stacked up. It almost looks a bit like a restaurant. I'm pretty sure this used to be a restaurant. Way before my time. Not that old. And, they, yeah, it's been in Avlad's collection for some time. Nobody ever really wants to buy it or build it. It's not really the best part of town, but it's affordable, has decent areas, and if you wanted to make a little business, could be good. The main selling point, though, is the backyard. And he leads you to a door that leads outside, through the kitchen into the backyard. And there is a fenced off area, about a quarter of an acre, that has no coverage but plenty of room to store your animals and your carts, and then some. There's grass and weeds growing out there. Overgrown bushes and plants just kind of fill it up, and it's very scraggly. Nobody's taken care of it for quite some time. This backyard is also available through an alleyway that passes behind the neighbor's house. There's a small gate that leads to it. It looks like the fence is made of rough cut wood from the swampy forest behind the city. They've been just kind of chopped up and laid down into a fence formation. It's very homely. None of it gives you necessarily chills or bad vibes. It's just been sort of unloved for quite some time. As you're walking around the back, the realtor kind of points back at the house. Now the building's definitely going to need some repairs. The roof leaks and the walls, well, they're kind of rotting in some places and need some replacement, but it's a decent place. It's got good bones, and if you want to be out of the city and have a direct location to get out of town, this is the spot.
Uh, how are the eyes on us looking?
Like just general people observing you.
Yeah. Are
Roll
there any
perception.
eyes that we shouldn't see or don't see?
Roll perception, please. Nice.
25.
Wow. Good job.
Wait, is that?
Um,
No, I don't think that's a natural 20,
it's
is it?
not because it's 4 plus 2.
No, it's in the.
It's a
Yeah,
19.
it's 19. Never mind.
Wait, so
I thought
close.
it was. My bad.
There are no eyes on you in the city, at least none that you can see, none that are visible. Um, the uh, the people around here are not fazed by your presence at all. They're not bothered. Not many. This is a town where people kind of pay attention to themselves and their own business. Plenty of shady things happen in the West slums. Um, it's not necessarily super poor, but there's definitely an air of we take care of our own business here. We don't bother you. The people walking around are just
Hmm.
minding themselves. Nobody's being a looky-loo or rubbernecking these strange people walking around this clearly abandoned building. Leo, it looks like the kind of crowd that you might be comfortable in. As you're observing some of the people walking around, you can see some folks meeting up. An individual walks up to a cloaked individual and they exchange something quickly and a quick word, and they keep going on their way.
Hmm. Definitely Leo's kind of spot.
Yeah. That's where you might be able to buy whatever you need, or sell whatever you need. There are no children that you can see,
Mm-hmm.
though.
That's mildly suspicious.
It's just not a town that children would be raised in.
Hmm.
It's somewhat industrial, it's somewhat commercial, but it's not a place for kids, basically.
Alrighty then. Guess we'll check out the inside next.
Yeah, you did go through it. It's just a one-room building. It looks like it was used to be a restaurant of sorts. There's a rather sizable kitchen at the back, on one end of the long room. Has multiple stoves and setups for cooking things. There is no running water. Obviously, none of the buildings except for the first one do have running water. And the realtor makes mention that this is about the same cost as the warehouse. Really, the main selling point is its location to the edge of the city and how much outdoors space that you have, as it has a rather large backyard.
Hmm. And it was a restaurant?
Most likely. He doesn't know for sure, but just based on what's around there, it looks like it used to be, yeah. Just a single room building, about 20 feet by 60 feet long.
Oh, so it's just one big space with nothing in it.
Yes. Like I said, there are chairs and bunks along the side. Looks like someone may have used it for sleeping at some time. Or I mean, like there's they like jut out from the walls. Just an old school longhouse.
Okay.
And then a central hearth, like fireplace, essentially.
Okay. Well, this is certainly something.
It reminds you of a smaller, crappier version of Avlin's house.
Definitely.
It may be suitable for us while we're getting started here, but I do worry that if we find people to recruit, we won't have much space for them.
True.
Hearing this, the realtor says, well, I mean, if you got deep enough pockets, maybe this could be a barracks of sorts and you don't live here at all. I don't know your plans entirely, but Avlet has told me some things, only things I really need to know, and I shouldn't pry. But could be good for
Of
something like
course.
that. Or a front. Maybe you want to go into the restaurant business rather than the mercenary business, or do mercenary work on the side, or whatever your plan is. I don't know.
We may need to find some way or another to bring in some outside money, but that's all worth keeping in mind.
He nods and writes in his little book. Well, we have two more to look at if you'd like to move on to the next.
Certainly. This was definitely the simpler of the group.
Yeah, it's not too fancy. It's only 1,700 gold pieces, so it's not going to be.
For this place? Jeez. Okay, whatever.
Hey, Delorn ain't cheap.
You know, back in my home, we carried our shelters with us. All of this is very strange to me.
It seems like a lot of trouble. I couldn't imagine moving my house wherever I go.
Well, it's when you live that way, it seems natural.
I suppose. Delorne's been my life. I don't know much outside of it.
See, this seems strange to me. To stay in one place all year long.
I think family keeps me here, but if your family's always moving, then it would make sense for that. Anyway, let's head down to Blue Tower and I'll show you the next building.
Of course.
A neighborhood familiar to you. Blue Tower is where the Barry's restaurant is, and it's also where Jardine's house is. You've been here before multiple times. In fact, it's kind of where you've been staying for a long time. A few blocks away from Jardine's house is a small building. It's 2-story. And it has a stable that passes through, like a front archway underneath the roof of the side of the house. The gate leads to a small yard that a cart and animal can occupy. He just kind of points into the yard after opening the gate and goes, "It's pretty small, but you could definitely keep a cart and an animal here. It does have coverage if weather's an issue for your creature. But yeah, let's go around to the front. I'll show you inside." It has a small deck, wooden. You step up onto it and it's creaking as he opens the door. A bell rings as he opens the door. a jingling and knocking against the wall as the door swings open. You're greeted with a small waiting area with a counter directly in front of you. Empty shelves sort of line the walls in this small area that you are in. Looks like it's for browsing of some sorts. As you look beyond the counter, there's various freestanding shelves. Looks like it was a shop of some kind. This is more retail based, but you could totally make this into a home or involve yourself in some retail if that's kind of your jam. Go on ahead. The counter just lifts up if you want to walk past it.
Leo will begin roaming around the space.
Okay. You walk up to a hinge in the counter space and flip it on over, and you walk back into the building. And past these shelves have, as you're walking by them, you notice there's leftover products. Some of them look like home goods. Some of them look like toys. Various blocks with letters on them. Sewn up dolls. Teddy bears, if you will. There's a rack of brooms and various other things that you would use to keep and maintain a home. There's a stack of chairs in one corner. Looks like they were for sale. In the back of this area, as you get past where all the main where the main shelves are, you enter into an area with a bunch of tools hanging from the walls. And there's workbenches where it looks like woodworking tools and sewing kits and things have been sat down there and left for a long time. They're quite dusty. There's a staircase that you can access from the back of the room here, and it leads upstairs.
He
As you're
continues checking out the. Go ahead.
Samira, do you enter in that area with him?
Sure.
As you're both kind of rummaging around and browsing what's left here, it appears that whoever was last here left in a hurry. Their goods are not fully packed up. It looks like some things may have been taken. Their tools of their trade have been left around. And the building itself, as you're just kind of roaming around, has this lingering stench of burnt ash. Nothing that you're looking at seems to have been caught fire. Doesn't seem like the building itself caught fire, but there's a distinct smell of ash throughout the building.
Somebody burnt something in here.
And the smells lasted this long? How long has this place been up for the market?
The realtor thumbs through his notebook. At least 5 months. Nobody seems to want to
Jeez.
buy it. Avlet has
5
thought
months?
of reopening the business, but he likes to stick to his neighborhood if possible.
Smart move, I guess. This is a surprise, though. Is the smell of ash that's here, does it have like a particular source if Leo sniffs around?
You can roll investigation for that.
Investigation, okay.
No law
Not
investigation
perception or
chips
survival?
today. You could do survival if you wanted instead. It'd be a different result, but yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
13.
As you're sniffing around, trying to figure out the source of the ash smell, it does seem to be stronger from upstairs.
Leo checks upstairs.
Alright. As you go up the stairs and enter into the upper area of the building, there's a small kitchen area directly after an entrance, much like other buildings you've been in, with a living area. There's a pool of water on the wooden floor below, in front of you, though. Looks like the roof has been leaking for some reason for quite some time. And it's been soaking into a rug that's been sitting there.
Hmm.
However, as you walk further into this room and kind of look at the soaking wet rug, if you put your foot on it and it squishes, as soon as you do so, a chill runs down your spine. Involuntarily, there's just kind of like this weird spooky feeling as you do that.
Does it feel dangerous?
Not necessarily, it just makes you feel cold and slimy.
Leo takes a few steps back from it.
The feeling begins to subside, but not entirely.
He looks around the room. Is there anything odd?
It is weird that a building of this nice condition has a break in the ceiling, in which water's coming down there. You are a relatively cautious and potentially paranoid person. However, it's an unusual, almost unnatural fear that emanates from that spot.
Is it still dripping?
Yeah. It's not raining and hasn't rained in a couple days.
A realtor.
He's downstairs but hears you. I'm coming.
Just stay at the bottom of the steps.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Is there an attic here?
Not that I know of. As far as I know, you're basically in the attic.
One second, I gotta check the weight of something.
The weight?
Yes, the weight of one thing.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Wouldn't technically work, but it might be viable. Um, Leo is going to take a few more steps back, be kind of in the doorway. Then he's going to use telekinesis and make a mage hand.
Okay.
Gonna take his long sword.
Is it weigh less than
He's
10
gonna
pounds?
full.
I'm guessing that's the weight you were checking.
Uh, yeah, it
Okay.
weighs 3 pounds,
All
and
right.
I think mage hand is 5 pounds. So,
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, you're good. Swords are usually pretty light.
um, yeah, um, he kind of angles it upwards, and then he stabs towards where the leak is with the mage hand.
Okay. The sword goes up into the sky above the house. As it does so, though, it seems to pierce something, and water begins pouring out from the tip of your sword.
So it just goes. Question: does it go through the ceiling and into the outside, or does it just go into the ceiling?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It goes through it. Like there's a hole that has been dripping as if it's been raining. And as you're doing so, more water begins to pour down into the building through the hole that the sword just went through. The sword did not make the hole.
Okay, so Leo will pull back the sword to the inside and wait to see if the water stops.
Yeah, as you do, the sword comes back down and maybe give it a flick to like get the water off. And the water does begin to, after a while, not immediately, but it begins to slowly become less of a pour and then reduces back down to that drip that was there before. The realtor shouts out, "Is everything all right up there?"
I don't know yet. Um, it's something bizarre.
Should I take a look?
Sure, bring Samira up too.
If you would kindly, miss, join me upstairs.
Sounds like I'd better.
As they're making their way up, Leo's gonna primeval awareness.
Roll that shit.
Oh, it's not a roll. It's just a thing I do.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, over the course of a minute.
Oh, I thought it was a spell slot deal. It does expend a spell slot.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Um, yeah, as you do, there is fate elements to what you're experiencing. You don't know too
You
much
said
about.
Faye?
Yeah, you don't know
Oh,
too much
God.
about the Fae, but due to the spell's knowledge that it imparts upon you, you know that it is that. Some sort of trickery is happening here. And it may be why this building has been unoccupied for half a year.
Leo's gonna call out in Sylvan. Hello, anything there?
Nothing responds.
Does that feeling of chilling nerves permeate still?
Yeah, it's more intense the closer you get to the water site, to the hole in the ceiling. But other than that, you don't feel like you're in danger or anything. It just you might be piercing the veil a bit as far as reality goes.
He's gonna poke around a little bit. He's gonna make his way and start moving a little closer. Look around. Look at the hole. See what the hole is.
Samira, as you enter upstairs, you see Leo just kind of like confusingly wandering around this dripping hole in the ceiling.
And the floor is soaking wet.
Yes, the floor is indeed soaking wet. The smell of must is permeating the room, especially now that more water has been poured onto the site. The rug underneath it is molding in certain places. Um, Samira, as you get closer to the hole in the ceiling, you also begin getting this cold chill down your spine. You're usually pretty cool-headed, but this is involuntary.
Hmm. Uh, Quite the discovery you've made, Leo.
I wouldn't exactly call it quite of anything. It's more of a going to be a constant inconvenience, and something Fey is involved, apparently.
Faye.
I can't
This
say
is
specific. I'm not super familiar with the Fey, even if my blood is like half of a half of a half of a Fey.
my
I just sense the Fey in the area.
yes. Well, I can't say I know much of the Fae myself.
The realtor looks
This
around just kind of confusingly as you guys are talking. I've been here when it's raining, and the water made sense, but I haven't been here since, and I don't understand.
Well, it's not raining now, and it's still dripping.
it certainly is.
The room that you're in is like a living room that is has some basic wooden furniture in it. Um, there's
On
no
a second
fireplace.
floor?
Yep,
Okay.
it's a living space above the shop. Very common and lots of stuff. The living room that you're in, as you're looking at this, because I did say it was an attic. It's like an attic that's also an apartment. Um, and there's two identical looking doors at the back wall, probably rooms of some sort. There's no hallway. The doors just face inward into the living space. There's one on the left, one on the right.
Hmm.
I forgot to describe it when you first walked in there, so I'm like, wait, for the visual.
This is a very strange place.
I could knock a few hundred off the price if you want to consider this issue that there is there, and I cannot guarantee that we can fix it after selling it to you.
Mm, I mean, I guess that's fair. We'll have to either contend with it or fix it ourselves, whatever it is. Looking through the hole, what does Leo see?
The morning, early or late morning sky, but
And the drip
also,
is just.
yeah,
Go ahead.
the water is like pouring out from the sides, almost like a draining bucket or a draining sink or something like that. Like the water is coming through there as if it's raining, but when you look through there, it just looks like normal blue sky.
Huh.
It's almost as if the water is materializing as soon as it reaches the roof.
The general feeling of being unwelcome here makes me think that somebody made some fey creature mad enough to cause all this.
Apparently.
The realtor's thumbing through his
This
notes some more. I'm trying to find if we have any notes on what happened here. You were gonna say something, so I didn't want to continue.
My concern would be, what level of anger is this? Is this petty revenge for a small slight, or something worse?
mm,
Now, I found a
I
note
mean,
here. It says the family that lived here was a couple. They left town entirely, rather quickly. They left the deed to a relative, and that relative sold it to us. I don't know much else.
Hmm.
huh. Well, while the inconvenience that this presents is not small.
I mean, I will say you could technically have running water if you're willing to deal with the potential magical consequences. You made a system to collect this water as it rains down. In fact, I could see it as a feature. As long as you're fine with
Okay, good.
feeling chilly and scared all the time, but hey, you folks seem to like to live dangerously.
Leo side eyes him again. Just, huh? Really?
He shrugs. Hey, I gotta make a commission, you know?
Uh huh. Does it see? So the water seems to be coming from outside the hole on like all sides of the hole, or just like one side of the hole?
All sides, as if it's pouring in, as if it's raining. But there is no outside that the water's coming from.
Huh. Leo uses Mage Hand again and tosses up a dagger.
As you do that, it pierces whatever your sword did before, and water begins pouring down with exuberance. As the dagger falls back down, though, it begins to close up again.
Huh. Well, that's certainly interesting.
It's almost like piercing a balloon or a uh, a water skin, more accurately, to your experience.
Hmm. Certainly curious thing.
And I do believe the two rooms in the back there are just bedrooms. Nothing too fancy here, but uh, definitely some private space if the open plans are not what you're looking for.
Um, can Leo get a taste of the water?
Are you sure?
Not entirely, but he might as well. This is something curious. He's curious about, like, oh, this is really weird.
Okay. Do you just like open your mouth to it, or how do you want to drink it?
He will he will collect a small bit in like a little container of some sort, like a little something.
There is
Little
leftover
belt.
kitchenware in the kitchen. If you go and just rummage through a bit, you'll find a wooden cup.
Yeah, he'll like collect some of the liquid in a cup, and he'll like, just as an experiment, he'll take a dagger and like just lightly poke it, just lightly poke where that hole is.
Like, you mean lightly poking the water in the cup?
No, lightly poke the hole in the ceiling to let some water like
Oh, okay.
fall into the cup.
I thought you were just collecting whatever's coming down. Okay. Yeah, and a small amount pours out, uh, and as the dagger pulls back, it starts to seal up again. But you could get a good half cup or so filled up.
He takes a close like look at the water to see like, is it clean?
It's clean. It smells like ash, though.
Hmm. Takes a little sip.
Think it. You do see Samira, like, she's watching this.
He's not
She's
swallowing it, he's
wondering.
just tasting
She's
it.
she's wondering what Leo's up to, and then like there's a brief attempt to stop him before the sip, but like she's too late to do anything. Just
And I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
Leo, as you take a sip, it's spicy. The water is, um, it tastes like burnt water. Has like an ashy tackiness as you're drinking it. It's as if you took a cup, like put it through cold coals of a fire from like the night before, and then poured water into it and mixed it up. It looks like clear water, but as you're drinking it, your mouth just kind of like gets this tacky pastiness from the ash in it, and it almost singes as if it's like a pepper of some sort. Or is it fire? It's
I
hard
will
to tell.
I will specify. He sips on it, gets the taste, and then spits it. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
just
Well, those sensations are still there. Just exchange it for the appropriate amount that you took in.
yeah. 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 Now I know where that smell's coming from.
Leo,
What?
I worry about you.
You should. I am a one-armed cripple. I am a
Those are
cripple
not.
with debilitated faculties and maybe a section of my brain missing. I don't know.
Those are
Yeah.
not the foremost elements of my concern at this time.
As Leo is talking, his teeth look like they have been scrubbed with coal or ash or something. They're like gray. Samira, as he's talking to you, you notice like, it looks like he just stuck his finger into ash and then rubbed his teeth with it.
Huh.
Leo pokes like the water. Does it stain his finger?
It does.
Hmm.
I think
Goes over to a window and tosses the water out the window. The cup, the water. He just tosses the entire cup out the window.
It clings to the ground.
It's wood, so wouldn't it go thunk?
Yeah. I realized that as I was saying clang, but I'm like, you know what? We're rolling with it. So yes, it thunks to the ground.
Samira, assuming she has like a water skin or something she can carry with her for
Yeah.
general purposes. So I think she will sort of offer the water skin to Leo and says, "Do not drink. Just take a little bit, swish it around your mouth, and spit."
Leo does so.
Leo, as you
Does this
spit
help with
out,
the?
go ahead.
Just asking. Does that help with the teeth?
It does seem to clear it up a bit. After he spits it out the window, his mouth is still burning though. In fact, the burning's getting a little worse.
Like, my mouth is on fire.
No, it's like as if you just took a lot of hot peppers and then you washed it down with water, and that made it actually get more intense because that's how peppers work.
Hmm. I'm going to be spitting a lot today, apparently. Is he like...
You are salivating a lot right
Look.
now.
Oh, okay, then yeah. Then he is just going to... Whenever he has the chance, like every... Not even every 5 minutes, like every 2 or 3 minutes, he'll just go to a random window and just spit out it.
All the guys I grew up with. They just
Oh, me
spitting
too.
all the time. Like, what is that?
I knew this one guy, his name was Chris. He used to
Yeah.
spit on the floor in his bedroom.
Ugh. That's
Yeah, it was
disgusting.
so gross. I went there once, never went back again after I both saw and was almost forced to sit on the floor.
Ew. Okay, that's foul.
Yeah, yep,
Mm-hmm.
foul as hell. Anyways, moving on.
Try not to get anything into my water skin, please.
I fully intend to avoid your water skin.
I imagine he waterfalled it and didn't.
That
Yeah,
too.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That was your water skin. If he's gonna use any water skin, it'll be his own now. Now that you have pointed out that, his mouth looks gross, he'll just be like, oh, okay. Spit out the window.
Yeah, Leo, the uneasy like spine chill is like worse now, and it's like kind of moving to your stomach after you had this little up close encounter with the water.
Mm,
Even though you didn't drink any, you do start to feel queasy.
I feel that we should not purchase this place, and also that perhaps we should leave before anything happens.
I love how this
mhm.
is more disturbing than the murder scene.
Oh, 100%. This is Fae. This
Oh,
has
I
the
know,
Fae involved.
I know.
The Fae is not something that we are familiar with or can handle,
Yeah,
technically.
it's kind of out of the scope of the current situation.
While the cleaning up of a murder scene that involves obvious cultist fanaticism is something we are naturally inclined to be like, okay, yeah, no, this terrifies us way less.
It's different when
And
you know
with
your enemy than when you don't.
yeah, as far as Leo is aware, the Fae is like something that like sticks in the back of his mind as like nightmare and like folk tale nonsense.
Yep.
He is never, as far as I'm aware,
No, I
he
agree with
has
that, lore wise.
never, yeah, he has never involved himself with anything Fae. The closest he has probably seen is an actual full-blooded elf, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's not a very common thing outside of just elvish people in this world.
Yeah.
Um, so I gather you don't explore further, and you begin exiting the building. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're doing so, the realtor is
Leo.
writing in his notebook. Well, I might have to reduce the price even more.
You might need to get someone to come look at it.
That's an Avalid thing at this point.
Hmm. When we step
Uh,
outside, do we feel any better?
You do. The further you get downstairs, the further you exit the building, the uneasiness begins to subside. Leo, you're still dealing with the situation with the water. However, your your un your unnatural spine chill fades the further you get away from the building.
Mm,
Well, we just have one more
okay.
house to look at. Fifth one. It's not in the north though. I don't know if this is interesting to you, but it's down at South Market and it could be pretty interesting. There's some equipment that you might want to see.
Sure. One thing to make sure to note to Avlid,
Mm-hmm.
um, worst best idea when it comes to this property, wreck it. Absolutely destroy it. Get rid of everything here. Sell the plot to whoever wants it. Get rid of the building. That'll maybe solve the hole filled with water problem.
He's nodding as you say this. I'm starting to agree with you. Avlid will probably want to investigate further, maybe send a mage this way, but yeah.
If a mage can figure out what the hole is about, that'll definitely save. Might be able to save the house.
It honestly might cost more than the house is worth, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Would
that might be that.
I would advise anyone who comes to check the place out not to drink any of the water.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine anyone would, but you learn something new every day.
You
Mm-hmm.
certainly do.
Um, well, if you guys would like to, we'll head down to the fifth house and we can talk business.
Lead the
Sure.
way.
Where's this last place located?
South Market. It's not exactly the place you want
Oh,
to be. However, it is closer to Avlid if you want more access to him in a more convenient fashion. I'll take you down there now. Dun, 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 dun. I need to give you the map. Bam, bam, bam. Wait, what? Oh, it did work. I'm just not paying attention to what I'm doing. Huh.
below the K. Got it.
That's the open link. Oops. Oh, music.
Oh, that is definitely on the opposite side of what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Although, we'll see.
It's
Okay.
very south.
Very south.
It is.
Okay. Uh, as he brings you down to the bottom of the sea, this takes a while because it's all the way across the city to the south. I imagine you stop for lunch, grab something to eat, take your time. After a good amount of time, you do end up down here in South Market. Now, the upper end of South Market, the tip of it, is Avlid's territory. So, towards the center of the city, that's where he does his business, and that's where the Starving's compound is at. You've visited there before. This building, down at the bottom of South Market, is a one-story building with front lawn fenced off with driftwood from the ocean. He leads you into that front area, um, where there's plenty of room to park a cart, to have a camel, or whatever else you want out there. On the inside of the wing of the home facing that open area, it's an open air place with a large fireplace sticking up through the ceiling. As you walk closer to it, the realtor says, "Now, this is a place that I think you might be interested in if you've got weapons and armor to maintain." I need to sneeze. Um, and I don't know if either of you have these skills or are interested in hiring someone who does. And if you're trying to support a group of people who have weapons to maintain, this might be interesting to you. He walks you back into this workshop area. It's open to the air for obvious reasons. Blacksmiths are very hot. There's a large blacksmith's forge that takes up the majority of this area. There's racks for holding various tools, materials. There's anvils on a couple different sizes on different logs sitting around this forge. It's not lit or anything, it's cold, but it looks like good equipment.
Hmm. Not bad. Not bad.
The previous owners moved to another town a while back. This has been on the market for looks like 3 months now. Um, there's other blacksmiths in town, and I guess they just wanted to move on. As far as I know, there's no disturbing or magical issues with this place that I'm aware of. Um, yeah, everything seems serviceable. I'm not a blacksmith myself. I have no idea how any of this works, but it's here, as he's pointing it out.
Well, yeah, you're a realtor. That makes sense that you wouldn't know much about this.
Among other things, yes.
Side eyes again. Leo will check out the space.
Hey, this man doesn't even want you to know his name. Of course, the side eye is
Yeah.
justified.
Justified side eye.
As he's showing you around this relatively large shop area, he goes, and the fencing here, you can block it off if your camel gets a little curious. I heard you guys have a camel, so just trying to be accommodating. Um, Never really been around them myself, but I'm from Talorn, so anyway, you can block this off so that your animals don't mess with the hot coals and whatnot. But if you'd like to come into the house, do feel free to follow me.
All right. Leo follows at the very least.
Right.
Yep.
There's steps from the area where the blacksmithing tools are, that lead up into the home. The As you enter in, you're once again in a combination of a kitchen room, dining area, and living room. This building is a bit closer in design, just more compact to the first building in that it has relatively tall ceilings. It doesn't have 2 stories. But there's a long hallway that leads out towards the front of the building, like towards the street. And that hallway has a bunch of 4 different rooms, all kind of lined up in a row. And the hallway that leads out to the front of the building just sort of follows along the right side to where the windows just look out into the yard where the camel would be. On one side, back to the living area, though, there's one door that is in that living area, and that is a basement.
Leo checks out the basement.
Yeah, you open it up, and it reeks of mildew and coal. It is stonework, much like the other building. Do you step down inside?
Yeah. He's checking it out.
Yeah, as you walk down there, it has this mildewy smell to it, probably just because of it getting cold and drying up over the days. It's a basement. They tend to smell like mildew. Nothing seems to be nefarious down here. There's certainly not a floating mist of blood or anything strange like that. And it looks to be various equipment for the blacksmith. There are spare tools. There are crates and bags of coal, and sheets and rods of various metals, some of it rusting, laying around. But it looks like a significant storage of fuel for the blacksmith forge.
Okay. Definitely
It's,
got some work here, which is nice.
yeah, it's a smaller basement than the other building had, but this one is more full of things. It looks like whoever left here just didn't want to deal with carrying all that extra stuff. The tools that would have been upstairs in the blacksmith's area are missing. So there's just some remainders that look like old or used tools that have been left down here. Not a complete set.
Yeah, that's fairly standard for when a smith wants to move out. They take their most valuable, prized, and well, worthwhile tools, and then mosey on to wherever they go.
The realtor nods. Makes sense to me.
Certainly like this one. All right, moving on. Uh, moving on to the next part of the house.
Yeah, you go back upstairs into the living area. There is a fireplace that faces out towards the neighbor's yard. Basically, if you were standing at the fireplace looking away from it, you'd be looking at the back door where the forge is and all that stuff. And the kitchen's generally in that area. You go over to the hallway where the other rooms are, and as you open them, they look like relatively small but private rooms for a group of people, all adults. Each room has its own bed, its own little cabinet for storing your things. It has its own wardrobe and a chair. It almost looks like a hotel room. The four of them are identical. As you're going through them, of course, with small variations, some of the beds are in different places, the furniture is not all identical, but the general layout is the same. They each have their own window that faces outside. They all have pretty tall ceilings, but they're quite compact rooms. The bathroom to this place is outside a outhouse in the area where the blacksmith is. It looks here like we're trying to sell this place for 2,600, about 1,000 less than the first house.
Hmm. Well,
As you're roaming around this building, you do notice that all the hinges of the building have relatively decorative uh, ironwork to it. It looks like someone took the time to make this just little hobby things as they're building things, and their touches of their handiwork is throughout the house, including
hmm.
trim around the windows and things.
Oh, very nice. Homemade decorations. That was a smart decision.
Hmm. Very nice place.
It's a little
Suppose
out
it
of the
could be
way,
made
but
to suit. Hmm.
I I mean, honestly, why were we so hung up on the north side of town again? I forgot.
Well,
Is it because the diamonds were that way, or was that something else?
well, diamonds are way far away from this city at all. They're not in the north of the
yeah,
city.
yeah. No, it was. I think it was just because the place that we're planning to uh, sort of attack eventually is up north, so it seemed
Yeah, the city isn't
reasonable to
big.
keep our staging point there.
That makes sense. Just for clarity, though, the city is not large enough to where that would make a major difference to your travel to anywhere like that. Um, you can walk across the city in half a day or less, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, travel to
Well,
the fort where the um to where the Diamond Cross are, that's going to be like a 2-3 day travel by cart thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Realtor
think
looks around and oh, sorry, go ahead.
uh Samira is saying I think we could certainly make this place work for us. It has some facilities we may have need of anyway, or the beginnings of them.
yeah.
I still think there's some value in the first place, but this might be one to keep an eye on as well.
Out of all of the places, the first, second, I think, and this place were definitely high on the list of places I would probably get.
Hmm.
What was the third place again? Was that the one in the
That would be the one in the West Slums, I believe.
uh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
that
longhouse
was
with the large backyard.
yeah, that one's not too. I mean, that one's the farthest north and would definitely work as like a barracks if we set it up to be that way. Same with number two. Number two is a good for a communal living space. Same with number three. Four we're not getting because we don't want to be involved in phase shenanigans. We already have other problems to deal with.
Hmm.
And this one are definitely the best options. So we have four choices in all reality.
Yes.
I say three, but we have four out of the five that we are definitely looking for.
3 is the
And
cheapest by far. Um, though I mean, 2 isn't much more expensive.
mm,
I think the potential value of the first place for what we really need, which is to build our militia, has its merits.
mm, definitely
Ask,
agree.
asking the realtor, when does Avalid need a decision from us?
Oh, there's no rush. I mean, if someone wants to buy something ahead of you two, that's a different story. But at the moment, we don't have anybody we're selling to. But that could change at any day.
I doubt the first place will sell too quickly.
After seeing it, I agree. I don't think there's any rush on that one. Though you never know, rich people, they know how to look the other way. That neighborhood is full of people who want
Couldn't
a
care
piece of
less.
society, as it were, and yes, don't care much about a lot of things.
Hmm. But they have some measure of prestige within the city, and that may be useful to us.
Oh,
Situating ourselves there.
you two may have to play the decorum game, but yes.
It sends a message.
He nods.
At the very least, we should arrange for proper rites to be finished for the remains as soon as possible.
Yes, and I did overhear you talking about burning things. I don't know that the neighborhood would appreciate burning of the flesh in the front yard, but you do you.
However, exactly I don't know the local funeral customs, but whatever is, perhaps if you can find us a local cleric, whatever is considered proper here ought to be done, and then we can burn the remains elsewhere. The important thing is that it be visible to those around, that they know what's going on, and then later that the remains be burned for safety.
Well, I can tell you, growing up here, there's many different ways people handle things, but I've seen many funerals in which people put a body on a raft and set it to sea and light it on fire. It's sometimes quite beautiful.
But if Avlid can find us a cleric who can help us perform a rite such as that, I think it would be a good way to draw attention while still disposing of the remains in the safest way.
I'll make a note of it, he writes in his little journal.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll find a way to contact you or Avlid or somebody when we settle on a decision.
He nods. Yeah, our gates are always open to you. Feel free to stop by, and I'm sure we can talk business at any point. It may not be me who you are
Oh,
dealing with, but maybe it will be. We'll find out. Regardless,
Of
it's been a
course.
pleasure. I have been your realtor.
Thank you
see you
very much.
later, realtor.
He nods, and as you all are walking out of the building and he's closing it up, if there's anything else I can look for you, do please let me know. Uh, I do deal outside of Tilorn on occasion in case that's interesting to you, but at the moment, this is about all I have to show right now.
We may have need of that in the future, but for now, what you've done is very helpful.
Um, he nods and pulls his cloak tighter around him as he begins to walk away. Waves back. Have a good one, folks. It's been a pleasure.
Samira will wave back.
And on that note,
Oh.
it is 10,
Hmm?
15 after
Mm-hmm.
when we normally end. I would also like to provide a reminder to the players. A few sessions back, there was some interest in learning about um, your dream situation that you had when you first two met, and she may have knowledge of other things. She's a bit of a sage that lives outside of town. Her name is Chady Epoch, and the berries did mention her to you. That's something we can explore in another session, but I did want to bring it up again.
Huh.
I think that's high on the list to deal with next, as is we should make the berries aware of the diamond situation and retrieve those if we can.
Yeah, that conversation definitely needs to happen. And yeah. With that, however, is there anything else you'd like to do before we sign off for the day?
We should make our way back to our current place of residence to have a discussion.
Okay.
To discuss the situation.
Yeah, do you have time for that, Samir? I know it's late for you.
Oh, not now, for next session.
Oh, okay. Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, we make our way back to what's their
Jardine.
place's house?
The kobold.
Jardine, thank you.
Yeah.
Jardine the kobold. We make our way back to Jardine. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That makes
Crasted
sense.
and Lugal the dog man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
have
don't
to
have
discuss it
to,
with them.
The dog deer man.
Yeah. Dog Deer Man. We don't have to get in. We don't have to do it play by play, but I assume we catch them both up on everything that happened.
Definitely, yeah. We can assume that the rest of the evening you just kind of chat about all your situations and options with with your friends at Jardine's house, and go over decisions, and then yeah, just kind of update them on all the strange happenings and avoid that freaking house in Blue Tower. That's only like a few blocks from where you currently are.
Yeah, stay away from that place.
100%.
Faye nonsense, that's a whole other campaign.
Yes, yes, it is. Lurking. With that said, everybody, thank you for watching Zotian Epoch episode 41. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully earlier, because we had some technical difficulties today. It happens, it's life. Sorry about that. Welcome to Realtorship House Shopping in D&D. Alright, see you around. Much love. Take care of yourselves, and keep your head up. See you around.